Welcome to another edition of Breaking News brought to you by Source Selection Soundbites. Today we will discuss the case of Extreme Concepts, or Extreme decided at the General Accountability Office, or GAO. The Army Corps of Engineers had a requirement for the installation of transformers in Alabama. The source selection was conducted under FAR 12 combined with FAR 13 procedures. The agency received a few proposals in response to the solicitation. After evaluating initial proposals, the agency determined to conduct discussions, so it formed a competitive range. The agency decided to exclude Extreme from the competitive range because it had a neutral past performance rating. The neutral past performance rating meant it was not among the most highly rated proposals. Upon learning of the agency's decision to exclude it from the competitive range, Extreme protested the agency's action. Extreme argued that it should have been included in the competitive range for the purposes of conducting discussions, and that it was wrong to exclude its proposal without even considering its lower price. The agency responded that it was not required to include Extreme in the competitive range because Extreme's proposal was not among the most highly rated due to its failure to include any past performance information for itself, the prime contractor. The agency also asserted that it is unlikely that Extreme would be able to submit any relevant past performance information, because Extreme admitted it has none. In responding to the agency report, Extreme argued that the agency could not properly exclude its quotation from the competitive range solely because of its neutral past performance rating. En route to finding against the agency, the GAO said that although the determination of whether a proposal is properly included within the competitive range is primarily a matter within the procuring agency's discretion, but the agency's exercise of that discretion must be reasonable and consistent with law and regulation. Where an agency's exclusion of an offeror from the competitive range is unreasonable, inconsistent with the terms of the solicitation, or contrary to law or regulation, the GAO stated they would sustain a protest challenging the exclusion. In this regard, the GAO explained that it had specifically held that an agency's exclusion of an offeror from the competitive range based solely on a neutral or unknown past performance rating constitutes unfavorable treatment and is improper. Therefore, the protest was sustained against the agency. Now let's address a few of the lessons learned from this protest. They include: 1. Exclusion or inclusion in the competitive range is usually within the agency's discretion. 2. The agency's discretion must be exercised within law and regulation. And 3. It is improper to exclude a proposal or quotation from the competitive range solely due to a neutral past performance rating. In this episode of Source Selection Soundbites, we discussed the Extreme case and past performance considerations when setting the competitive range. This concludes today's Source Selection Soundbite. If this video was helpful, hit the like and subscribe button to ensure you don't miss any new material. If you want more details on the subject, they are available on the Source Selection Answer app. It contains lectures, quizzes, court cases, sample documents, and more material that allows practitioners to quickly obtain actionable knowledge. Thanks for watching. See you next time.